Welcome to our channel, Soul Science, a place where you can go for answers revolving around religion and spirituality. If you haven't watched our intro video, there is a link at the bottom, so please check that out so you can understand the purpose of what we're doing here. It will also introduce you to our host, me, Steve Daly, and our spiritual navigator, Joel Boswell. Here's the captain of our ship, Joel. Joel, how are you doing?
Thanks, Steve. I'm doing great. Well, this has taken us a while to get to this point to actually get a video going. I have to admit, I'm a bit nervous about it. I want to do well. I want to get the message past me. I don't want to stand on my own way of saying what I believe to be important. And I
Right.
thought about this yesterday, getting my mind prepared, to do this. And I thought, if somebody asked me what what is the most important thing you could talk about, it would be this. It would be the subject of sovereignty of your own soul. So I want to get into that, but at the end, I'll have something of a summary. But I do want to speak to the California fires. That is on everybody's mind. As I mentioned to you the other day, those fires are on the level of the 911 incident. Gosh, that was 2001, 24 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah.
Things like that fade from memory after a while unless we're reminded. And watching the news, I see I see a bit of bickering amongst the politicians, which is totally inappropriate. And I see the folks are in shock and dismay. So I want to pay attention to them. I think that's important. But as far as today's subject goes, sovereignty of the soul, I think perhaps that is the most important work that a person can do in a physical life, in a lifetime. So I want to give some definitions. Some are going to be really obvious, rudimentary definitions, but I think I need to build a foundation. So talking about, first of all, the aspects or the makeup of a human would be the mental body, the physical body, the emotional body, and the energetic, or I'll leave it at that, call it the energetic body. Obviously we know what the physical body is, but all four of those aspects make up the whole. That is we would say, we would use the word tangible. Generally speaking, if we use the word tangible, we say it's related to something that we can touch or that we can feel. But I would suggest to you that our emotions and our thoughts and our soul are all tangible. It may be that they're non visible, that you can't touch them, but they're tangible in the sense that, well, as a comparison, you can't touch air, but it's tangible. You can't touch X-rays, they're tangible. You can't touch magnetism, it's tangible. And it's important for me to say this because we're talking about the soul and it is tangible. The soul is made up of our mind, our emotions, and our will being our actions. So our behaviors, what we do through the course of a life, make an imprint on our soul. We also have an oversoul. I think probably other people might define it in a different way. My definition of the oversoul is our highest potential. I come from Christian background. I don't, I don't, I'm not involved with the Christian religion any longer. I've moved on from that, but a lot of my references come from that because I was raised in the Christian church. So I think in oversoul or our highest potential in the Christian faith, in one of the definitions would be one of the definitions of what Christian people call the kingdom of heaven, be the ultimate achievement. So the oversoul is and the soul are not disconnected from us. It's not something that you don't have in this life that someday you acquire after you die. It's with you now. You always have your soul at hand. As a matter of fact, it's so close at hand that if you drink water, you quench the thirst of your soul. We're attached in that way, inseparable. Another subject would be, what is the difference between soul and spirit? That is harder to define. In other cultures, for example, spirit would be chi or prana or kundalini, the Holy Spirit. For the purposes of this discussion, I would say it's also energy. So I think of the movie Matrix. A lot of people draw that comparison to our energy body. Through walking everyday life, our behaviors, our activities, our thoughts, our emotions, we make an imprint on our DNA. And that in turn makes an imprint on our energetic body. And our energetic body is what we take with us when we die, or might also say that our energetic body is our consciousness.
If I can jump in, Joel, it's funny you mentioned The Matrix because I watched it 2 nights ago. It's been a while since I've seen it, and by the way, if I interject, I'm not going to be as deep. I'm going to be much more on the surface than Joel will be, because it gets kind of deep. But I just wanted to say that that movie had an effect on me because when I'm out in the world, sometimes I feel like I'm in the Matrix, and I feel like people are going through. I feel like they're on autopilot, and that's kind of what the Matrix feels like to me. And so I try to practice like a mindfulness to make sure that the people that are on autopilot around me, at least they're in my sights and I can stay safe. But it doesn't always feel safe out there. I don't know if that comment resonates at all within this discussion, but it definitely has an effect on me.
It helps a lot for you to say that. I'm trying to paint a picture of the nature of the energetic body. One has to use your imagination. I hear talk now more than ever about opening your third eye, which is essentially your imagination. So it's important to use your imagination to try and understand or get a picture of all the aspects of the human makeup. It's interesting that now we have the equipment, have had for some time, that we can measure the aura or the energetic field around the human body. The the nervous system creates the aura, and then the human heart also has a separate aura, which is even more powerful than the autonomic nervous system. The aura extends out about 3 feet from our body, and that's our first contact with other people. Which is interesting to note that social distancing was 6 feet, so it prevented us from having or I don't think it matters much anymore, although it doesn't seem to matter where you go. You still see signs that say social distancing or some tape on the floor. It's been programmed into us to not get closer than to 6 feet from other people in public spaces. And that's our first contact with another soul.
I was just going to say, like the Matrix, it's programmed. Those people in the movie are acting a certain way because it's programmed into them. And
Mm-hmm.
during the pandemic, that was programmed into us, and it's just uncanny
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
about the type of behavior and how it changed our behavior. And I was thinking about the other day how much I hated time.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress.
Well, no, you're really right on. And that the the offer to take the red pill or the blue pill is part and parcel to what we're talking about today. Um, our DNA is essentially uh, our DNA sequence is a constant, but epigenetics, epi meaning over or upon, epigenetics says to us that our environment, our relationship, our habit, stress, our sleep, our exercise, all influence our DNA. And our DNA is not disconnected from our energetic body or our spirit or our soul. So what we choose to, let me back up to say the emotional, the mental, the physical, and the energetic or the spirit body all need to be fed. And they determine what you feed your body determines the makeup or the imprint on your DNA, and that is what you're going to take with you after you leave this life.